He was short of breath. It actually metastasized in the pleura of his lungs, of his one lung.
Okay, so he was short of breath without having done anything physically.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like progressively getting worse, and that's when he noticed? Is that what happened?
While he was sleeping, if he was laying down, the I guess water filled up in his lung, on the area around his lung, and it made it hard for him to breathe, and he would wake up short of breath.
Wow.
So they went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Yep, you got something there. We got to look at it again." So that's when he started he started his first chemo treatment actually the week before ordination.
Oh,
so
really?
if you look in the ordination movie,
Yeah.
when you're watching the ordination movie, or there's a video of his first mass at Faustina, you can notice the difference in his hair started to fall out.
Oh, wow. Between that point. Wow.
Yeah. I think there were 77 priests at ordination. I could have that number wrong, but there was a lot of priests. And I thought I remember counting them. And as part of the ceremony is the priests come up one at a time and lay hands on every seminarian that's going to be ordained that day. And they give a blessing. And so there's the line of 77 priests coming along, and he was noticing that as they would lay their hands on him and then they lift off, some of the hair would fall in his face.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then, 77 times. So yeah. But it was, it was part of the drama, right? The day was long enough as it was.
Yes.
He was super weak from the chemo, and
And he's, he had to go through all of that, the kneeling the entire time.
I know.
Wow. I'm sorry. I'm just speechless right now just thinking about that, because it gives a whole different view of what happens, because it's hard enough just kneeling for that period of time.
Well, they start very early in the morning. They have practice days before.
Mm-hmm.
They have all this prep going on, planning parties and planning, ordination parties after and before and this and all the just, where am I going to be,
It's like wedding prep.
It totally is wedding prep. Absolutely.
Vocation.
It is. Yeah. And so there's mentally and spiritually and physically and emotionally so much going on, just like for your wedding day. And to have on top of that, after 9 years thinking you beat it, and, the drama in your own heart about all of that.
Wow. And I'm still processing that they reconstructed his pelvis and he was kneeling like that.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, I remember him at one of the retreats at St. Faustina, because my wife and I, we volunteered, and he was playing basketball with the boys, and he was in his, collar with the leather shoes and everything, running around with those teenagers, and that's not easy.
No.
The teenagers, they've got so much energy. And wow, even with that reconstructed hip. And
he was 3/4 of an inch shorter on that side, and he had a lift on his right his right foot. If you ever look at his shoes, one was normal and one we had to have lifted.
Wow.
So when you look in the movie, they'll show a pair of his sandals, and if you look real quick, you can see it.
Wow. I'm sure if you look at like some of the videos as well that that they have online with ordination and all of that.
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe even on the footage of the basketball game too.
Yeah. His basketball shoes were mended.
Wow. So he goes through the whole ordination. What did he do after that? Because there's I think about a month period before he reports to his assignment.
He did chemo.
It was just all chemo. There was no going out or going to the beach or visiting relatives. It was all chemo.